it seems like it is a foregone conclusion for two guys to be heading to Houston. Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks to Houston. Mark Stein at the Stein line, which I think this is a pro Mark Stein show. I say Mark Stein has never really led me astray on my personal channel. I think he's one of the guys that we've said, I think he's a very reputable source, incredible. What he says is usually very well vetted, And he has put out a report that Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet are expected to sign with the Houston Rockets. We know that the Houston Rockets have a projected maximum at $83.6 million. We're looking at that. Brooks has been looking at a 2-year deal for $14 to $16 million. I believe it would probably be a 1+1 for $32 million, where, first year is maybe 14 million, with the second year being maybe like 18 or 16. And then we're hearing that probably Fred VanVleet's going to get that 2-year, $85 million or $83 million deal. So where it's like 41.6 each year, 41.8 each year. And I think that's a good deal because his deal will expire before you have to start paying your guys. And you can move if he sucks this first year, that's an easy contract to move because it'll be expiring next offseason. You're somewhat of a Houston Rockets fan. Now that seeming like they've missed out on James Harden, what is your thoughts that they're going to pivot inside Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks? Maybe even go out and get themselves a few other pieces to join the team. Ime Udoka is going to get some vets. We'll probably see Grant Williams even go.
The last thing I would call it is we missed out on James Harden. He missed out on us.
Oh, wow. You're saying that
most Rocket fans do not want James Harden back on this team.
I agree. You shouldn't.
He doesn't fit. Yeah. I mean, this Fred news came out yesterday, and I wasn't pleased with the dollar amount because it's ridiculous to pay Fred VanVleet $41.5 million to play basketball. It's an absurd number. But yeah, 2-year contract, all right. Dylan Brooks, 2-year contract, all right, whatever. I agree. Get the winning culture back in Houston. Show these young kids the rope. Amon will probably be icy from downtown and just shooting in general. So as long as it's a 2-year, I'm fine with it. But yeah, they'll probably, Plumlee, Powell, I would imagine their last free agent addition to be a big man. It could be Grant Williams. They could do Grant Williams.
Aaron says he thinks VanVleet is better than Harden. I think I don't know. I don't think so. VanVleet has has kind of regressed as efficiency wise. I think VanVleet might be a better defender, but
Freddie is one
Harden is a way better facilitator, way better scorer still at this stage of his career. But
he's better in every regard.
I think I do agree that
every single regard Harden's better at this point in his career. Yeah, and Fred's in his prime.
But I think VanVleet and Dylan Brooks are better fits for.
Yeah.
So with the report that we're hearing that Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks could go to Houston now that Harden is destined to probably stay with the Sixers or maybe even opt in and trade somewhere else. I think VanVleet and Dylan Brooks are guys. VanVleet can teach Amen Thompson and Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green how to be a good guard in the league and teach them defense and how to play even if you're undersized. Dylan Brooks, he gets to rebuild his value. You're basically probably committing between those two guys about $65 million, which will leave them with about $15 to $18 million still to play with. And they don't even have to commit these. It seems like they're going to give them 1-2-year deals or 1+1 deals, max 2-year deals. Like the Rockets are being smart here. They're not investing all of their money into these guys. They're letting these guys hey, we're going to time this up so that when our rookie contracts expire, we're able to pay our guys and we don't have to worry about, having to be stuck on these contracts and then make decisions and then try to lose all leverage. These are going to be easy expiring contracts to move. What are your thoughts on that?
These are ridiculous statements being made by Aaron saying All-Star is a popularity contest, and that's the reason that Fred VanVleet is better than James Harden. James Harden's worst year since probably his OKC days was this year, and Freddie will never sniff the statistics James Harden averaged this season. He'll never sniff it. In a career year from Freddie Double V, Rockford's finest, my hometown hero, will never sniff what James Harden will probably be averaging in his last year in the NBA. So ridiculous statements. The James Harden disrespect is real. But yeah, Fred works his all of his championship experience from his eight points a game coming off the bench for Kyle Lowry. James Harden would never come off the bench for Kyle Lowry. Yeah, I like Dillon Brooks, man. I obviously the thing that
this is a pro Dillon Brooks show.
The thing that is said is, well, I don't like his shenanigans. Don't make it dirty.
Well, with Dillon Brooks, I understand that people don't like his shenanigans, but he's definitely a guy that I think like when you go ahead, yes, I know he can kind of pass off as a douchebag, but he's definitely a guy that he plays winning basketball. If you get a guy like Ime Udoka who can, learn how to control that and wield it and be like, hey, we need you to be a psychopath here, okay? Or kind of just how like Steve Kerr is able to control Draymond, okay? I mean, no one can control Draymond, but the idea is you could get Dillon Brooks. People forget that Dillon Brooks in his first 4 years of his career, he was an improving basketball player. It's just been the last 2 seasons that we've seen a little bit of regression, and that's probably because he's been putting up too many shots. Let's tone it down a little bit, and I think he's a great player. And then what we've been saying, that Fred VanVleet at this point in his career is probably a better mentor and developer and teacher of winning basketball and playing winning basketball than James Harden. And I think both of these guys won't financially cripple the franchise. We'll give them cap flexibility because you don't have to pay them long term. And I think definitely the idea of having these guys, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it really sucks that free agency or the moratorium or whatever it's called doesn't start till like 6 tomorrow. That just kind of sucks.
Yeah,
so Monday's episode is gonna be juicy because doesn't free agency